Welcome back to English Podcast course. Today, we'll practice fun English conversations for
Sometimes the best support comes out of nowhere. Have you ever had someone step in and help just when you needed it most?
Oh, absolutely. I remember. Just last month, I was completely overwhelmed at work, and a colleague I barely knew noticed and offered to take on some of my tasks. It blew me away how thoughtful people can be.
That's such a good feeling, like the universe is throwing you a lifeline. There's something about unexpected help that really sticks with you.
Totally. It makes you realize how connected we all are, even with people we don't know super well. Those moments really restore your faith in humanity.
Thinking about that, I notice gratitude just hits different when someone helps you out of genuine kindness. It's not just the action, it's the feeling that someone noticed you.
Absolutely, and it's more than just saying thanks. When someone really shows up for you, it sticks with you. I still remember this one time my neighbor brought me soup when I was sick, and it meant so much more than she probably realized.
It's wild how even the smallest gestures can have a huge impact. Sometimes, I feel like those little moments of gratitude end up shaping how we see each other.
That's true. Now, whenever I see my neighbor, there's this unspoken bond. Small acts, big feelings. It makes life feel warmer, you know?
So, here's something I've wondered. Do you ever feel like just saying thank you isn't enough? Sometimes I wish there was a better way to show it.
I get that. There are moments when a simple thanks feels way too small for what someone's done. Like if a friend helps you move apartments in the pouring rain, how do you really express just how much that means?
Exactly. I've tried everything from baking cookies to handwritten notes, but it still sometimes feels a little lacking.
Same here. I think that's why some people try to pay it forward instead. It's almost like if you can't repay the person, you try to pass on that kindness to someone else.
That actually reminds me, I once read about how gratitude spreads, like a ripple in a pond. One act inspires another, and suddenly everyone's in a better mood.
I love that imagery. One time, a stranger paid for my coffee, and it totally changed my day. I ended up being nicer to everyone I met, just because of that little spark of kindness.
I've had days like that too, where one good deed just shifts your whole perspective. It makes you want to do something nice for someone else, even if it's minor.
It's like gratitude is contagious in the best possible way. You never really know how far your actions will reach.
It's easy to talk about gratitude, but building it into your day-to-day life is another challenge. Got any tricks to keep that thankful vibe going?
One thing that helps me is actually writing down 3 things I'm grateful for every night. Even on rough days, it makes me realize there's always something good, even if it's just a really decent sandwich.
Ha! Never underestimate the power of a good sandwich. I try to send little thank you messages, texts, notes, whatever when I remember. It keeps me mindful, and I think the other person appreciates it too.
Honestly, those little reminders matter. They help gratitude become more than just a passing feeling. It turns into a habit, and that's where the magic happens.
I've always loved that simple little question. Could you give me a hand with this? It's like the universal signal for, hey, I can't do this alone.
What cracks me up is how often we use it too. I've heard people say it moving furniture, opening stubborn jars, even with tech stuff. Somehow, it always works. People just jump in.
Yeah, there's something so disarming about the phrase, right? It doesn't sound demanding or desperate, just friendly. Almost like it invites teamwork rather than admitting defeat.
Totally. And it kind of puts everyone at ease. Like, if someone asks me for a hand, I'm never annoyed. I'm actually flattered. It makes me feel trusted.
But then there are those times when asking for help suddenly feels weird. Like, why is it so much harder if it's something you think you should already know how to do?
Oh, I've totally felt that. Last month, I couldn't figure out how to change the printer toner at work, and I just stood there staring at it, debating if I should ask or just Google it secretly.
Exactly. We get all self-conscious, like, what if they think I'm clueless? It's so silly, but I still do it. Even just asking for directions can feel like admitting defeat.
I get that. There's this weird pride thing, especially when it's something everyone else breezes through. But honestly, people are usually happy to help, and half the time, they've been stuck before too.
Thinking about it, there are so many ways to ask for help. Some people are super direct, "Hey, help me," while others kind of dance around it. Like, have you ever done this before?
I know those subtle moves. I have a friend who'll start by just sighing loudly next to whatever she's struggling with, hoping someone will notice and jump in.
The dramatic sigh is a classic move. Or that look people give when their computer freezes, like they're trying to telepathically summon tech support.
Oh, I've given that look way too many times. Sometimes it works, though. People seem to pick up on those nonverbal help me signals faster than actual words, honestly.
That actually reminds me sometimes we're offered help, but we turn it down. Why do you think it is that we get stubborn about accepting it?
Maybe it's an independence thing? I tend to refuse help when I want to prove to myself I can do it. Like carrying all the groceries in one trip, even though I know I'll regret it halfway up the stairs.
I'm guilty of that too. There's this tiny, irrational voice that's like, "You must conquer this solo." But usually, I end up dropping something or wishing I'd just said yes.
Honestly, the older I get, the more I realize there's zero shame in saying, "Yeah, I'd love a hand." It's almost freeing once you let go of that weird pride.
Funny how a simple "can you give me a hand" can turn into a whole story. Some of my best conversations have started with helping somebody out.
Same here. I've made friends in the most random ways, like helping a neighbor carry a couch, and next thing you know, we're swapping life stories over pizza.
It's wild how asking for help isn't just about the task. Sometimes it's the best way to break the ice, or just remind ourselves we don't have to do everything alone.
Couldn't agree more. If nothing else, asking for a hand is one of those tiny things that makes us feel human, stuck jars, stubborn printers, and all.
So, I was staring at my living room yesterday, and honestly, it felt like the mess just multiplied overnight. Do you ever feel like cleaning is just a losing game sometimes?
Oh, all the time. It's like dirty socks and random mugs have mastered cloning. I swear, I clear one pile and another appears somewhere I didn't even know existed.
Exactly. It's like playing whack-a-mole, but with laundry and dust bunnies. Just when you think you've got a handle on it, boom, crumbs everywhere.
What gets me is how quickly it happens. One lazy weekend, and suddenly my place looks like the set of a disaster movie. Makes me wonder, where does it all even come from?
Funny you ask, because I realized most of my mess comes from tiny bad habits, like leaving shoes by the door or not putting dishes in the sink right away.
I've noticed the same with my clutter. For me, it's the mail. I toss it on the table just for now, and next thing you know, it's a paper avalanche.
I can relate. Last week, I found a stack of takeout menus I haven't touched since 2021. It's wild how fast the just for now pile turns into an archaeological dig.
Totally. And the worst part is, those little messes sneak up on you. Suddenly, guests are coming over and you're in a full-blown panic cleaning mode.
Speaking of panic cleaning, do you have any tricks to actually get yourself in the mood to clean? Because for me, motivation is half the battle.
What helps me is blasting music. A cleaning playlist with embarrassing 2000s hits is my guilty pleasure. Somehow, the cheesier the tune, the faster I scrub.
I do the same. There's something about dancing with a broom that makes wiping counters less dreadful. But honestly, sometimes I just stare at the mess and scroll on my phone instead.
Been there. Procrastination is real. I've actually set a timer for 10 minutes and promised myself I'll just do a little. Somehow, once I start, I usually keep going.
That actually reminds me, are you more of a deep clean everything person or a speed clean to survive kind of person?
Honestly, I start with good intentions to deep clean, but about 30 minutes in, I downgrade to speed clean mode. My energy just fizzles out.
Oh, I get that. I have these wild plans to organize every shelf, scrub every corner, and then I spend an hour just on the microwave. The rest gets the old once over.
100%. And sometimes I convince myself that lighting a candle is just as effective as actually cleaning. The things we do for the illusion of cleanliness.
After all those cleaning adventures, do you have any cleaning win or fail stories that still make you laugh?
Oh, I once tried to clean the oven with a DIY baking soda mix and accidentally made it look like a snowstorm hid inside. Took me hours to chisel it all out.
That's classic. I once vacuumed up a sock and spent 20 confused minutes wondering why the vacuum sounded like a struggling jet engine.
Honestly, these moments are what make cleaning bearable. If you can find some humor in the disaster, it makes the chore way less soul-crushing.
Absolutely. I guess at the end of the day, it's all about progress over perfection and maybe a good playlist to keep things rolling. So picture this. You've got tickets, you're all hyped up, and then suddenly, bam! A friend hits you with, "I'm afraid I can't make it." How do you even react in that moment?
Oh man, I've absolutely been there. Sometimes it's a minor disappointment, but other times, especially if you were really looking forward to it, it feels like the wind's knocked out of your sails.
It's almost like you're mentally rewinding your day, trying to figure out what to do with this sudden chunk of free time. Do you get annoyed or just roll with it?
Depends on the vibe, honestly. If it's a close friend and they rarely bail, I'm more understanding. But if it's that one friend who's basically a serial canceller, I start to feel a little skeptical.
You know, funny enough, sometimes when plans get canceled last minute, I go through this weird mix of disappointment and relief. Like bummed not to go, but also a tiny bit excited for spontaneous solo time.
Exactly. There's this little part of me that thinks, hey, now I can catch up on that show everyone's talking about, or finally order takeout in my pajamas. But at the same time, I'm also wondering if I missed out on something memorable.
It's like your brain is fighting itself. Do I make the most of this or just sulk? And of course, the FOMO creeps in later when you see everyone's stories online.
Yeah, and it always depends who canceled and why. If it's for a legit reason, I'm way more chill about it. But if it's just vague or sketchy, that stings a bit more.
What gets me is trying to figure out if the "I can't make it" is code for something. Like, are they genuinely busy or just not feeling it?
That's such a classic dilemma. Sometimes it's super obvious, like they caught the flu or something. But other times, you're left overanalyzing the text, wondering if you did something wrong or if they just needed a night in.
I swear, reading between the lines of a last-minute cancellation is a whole new level of social detective work. I once spent an hour convincing myself I'd become boring, only to find out my friend's dog had eaten something weird.
Now, that's a plot twist. I guess it's a reminder that most of the time, it's not even about us, but our brains love to invent stories.
So when you get that dreaded cancellation text, what's your go-to response? Do you play it cool, or do you let them know you're bummed?
If I'm being honest, I usually try to keep it light even if I'm disappointed. I'll say something like, "No worries, let's rain check." But if it was something big, I might drop a sad emoji just so they know I cared.
I totally get that. Sometimes I end up overcompensating, like, "Oh, totally fine. I was thinking of rescheduling anyway," even when that's a total lie. It's almost a reflex to avoid awkwardness.
It's wild how much we'll bend over backwards to keep things smooth. But hey, at least a little honesty mixed with kindness never hurts. Just as long as you don't guilt trip them.
That actually reminds me some of my best solo adventures started because someone canceled on me. Have you ever just gone and done the thing anyway, alone?
Absolutely. And sometimes those last-minute solo outings end up way more fun than expected. I once went to a concert by myself after a friend bailed, and I ended up making new friends in line.
I love that energy. There's something freeing about not having to check in with anyone else, just following your own vibe for the night.
Totally. It's almost like a secret bonus you get your night back, but you also get a little adventure you weren't planning for. Makes cancellations sting a bit less, honestly.
You know, nothing quite says weekend reset like a sunny afternoon at the park. I swear I could sit on a bench for hours just people watching.
Sitting on a bench is honestly the best free entertainment. Yesterday, I saw a guy jogging with his husky and the dog totally outpaced him. The poor guy looked ready to give up, but the dog was grinning like it was Christmas morning.
That's the magic of parks. There's always some unexpected scene unfolding. Last time I went, I stumbled onto a full-blown chess match between two grandpas, and half the playground was watching like it was the Super Bowl.
It's hilarious you mention that, because a few weeks back, there was a group doing yoga right next to a birthday party. Balloons and downward dog don't always mix the wind, sent half the balloons into cat pose territory.
Speaking of balloons invading yoga mats, there's this whole unwritten code at parks, isn't there? Like, you can toss a frisbee, but if it flies into someone's picnic, you owe them a sincere apology plus a cookie.
Totally, picnic zones are sacred ground. Once, I accidentally kicked a soccer ball into someone's potato salad, and I swear I've never felt guiltier. They just laughed it off and offered me a sandwich, though. Park people are surprisingly chill.
Yeah, park forgiveness is real. I've had toddlers run straight through my blanket fortress, shoes caked in mud, and their parents just shrug like, kids, you know? It's impossible to stay mad.
Honestly, if you can't handle the chaos, you're probably not park material. But that's part of the charm. Everyone's just in it together, snacks and mishaps included.
That reminds me, have you ever had a weird run-in with wildlife at the park? Squirrels seem to think they're entitled to half my lunch.
Oh, squirrels are basically the park's mischievous staff. One literally tried to unzip my backpack for a granola bar. And don't get me started on the geese. They walk around like they own the joint.
The geese are the true bosses. I once had to reroute my jog because a whole gaggle blocked the path, honking like traffic police. They gave me side-eye. 2 geese don't mess around.
I've noticed ducks are a little friendlier, though. Especially when kids bring bread, even though there are signs everywhere begging people not to feed them. The ducks act like it's a covert operation every time.
It's not just the animals. The people you meet at the park could fill a novel. One time, I struck up a conversation with a guy who claimed he invented a new kind of kite. He was so passionate, I almost believed him.
That's fantastic. I once chatted with a woman who's a dog walker/poet. She recited haikus about poodles while tossing tennis balls. The creativity level at parks is seriously underrated.
Honestly, the stories practically find you. I overheard a group debating the best way to build a treehouse by the end. They had a blueprint sketched out on a napkin. The energy is contagious.
And you never leave empty-handed. Whether it's a new snack recipe, a dog's name, or just a good laugh, parks have this way of connecting people who'd otherwise never cross paths.
So, with all the chaos, snacks, animal drama, and random conversations, what do you think keeps pulling us back to the park?
For me, it's the sense of possibility. You never know if you'll discover a new running trail, stumble on a pop-up concert, or just find a quiet spot to unwind. There's this feeling that anything can happen.
I get that. It's like pressing pause on the rest of life for a bit, just breathing in the fresh air, merging into this little community of strangers. It's kind of comforting, actually.
Exactly. It's a mix of adventure and comfort. Parks are one of the few places you can show up as you are, messy hair, snacks in hand, and instantly belong. That's probably why I'll never get tired of them.
Remember the first time you had a real conversation with someone online? It's wild to think how chatting through a screen went from feeling kind of futuristic to just normal.
Honestly, I still remember using AOL chat rooms as a teenager and feeling like I'd cracked some secret code. Now, it's as casual as texting your mom about dinner.
Exactly. And now, people don't even blink when you say you met your best friend on Discord or started dating someone you DM'd on Instagram.
What gets me is how those online conversations can feel just as real or even more genuine sometimes than talking face-to-face. Have you ever had a late-night chat online that just went way deeper than expected?
All the time, actually. There's something about online chats that makes people drop their filter. Maybe it's not seeing the other person's face, so you don't feel as self-conscious?
Yeah, it's like the glow of the screen is a little safety shield. I've had total strangers open up about their lives in DMs, and I'm always surprised how honest people get at 2 a.m.
Or even in group chats with friends, suddenly someone drops a truth bomb and you're all just typing frantically, supporting them with emojis and GIFs.
There's also that power to pause before you respond. In person, you're kind of on the spot, but online you can take a second and really think about what you want to say or just Google a better reply.
But of course, with all that freedom, sometimes things get weird. Like, have you ever had a group chat argument totally spiral because someone misread a message?
Oh, absolutely, tone just gets lost in text. I once sent what I thought was a harmless, sarcastic comment, and suddenly 3 people thought I was mad at them. Emojis only go so far.
Exactly. I found myself rereading my own messages 5 times thinking, does this sound rude? Should I add another smiley face? It's like walking a tightrope.
And don't even get me started on those endless typing dots. The suspense. I sometimes wonder, are they writing a novel or just ghosting me?
That actually reminds me, how do you think online friendships stack up against the ones you make in person? For me, it's almost a tie these days.
I get what you mean. Some of my closest friends now are people I've never met offline, but we've been through so much together, virtual game nights, late night venting, you name it.
There's a kind of freedom in online friendships. Like, you can connect from anywhere. But sometimes I wish I could just grab coffee or go for a walk with them instead of sending memes all day.
Totally, I feel that too. Those digital bonds are real, but there's something about a hug or just laughing together in the same room that can't be fully replaced by pixels.
So where do you think all this online talking is headed? Sometimes I wonder if we'll just be holograms hanging out in someone's living room in 10 years.
Honestly, with how fast things are moving, that wouldn't even shock me. Virtual reality hangouts, AI chatbots that feel like friends, it's both exciting and a little bit weird.
We're already seeing people host birthday parties in Minecraft or hold meetings in the metaverse. I can't decide if that's awesome or if I need to touch grass more often.
Maybe a little of both. But I think as long as we keep finding ways to really connect, whether it's through a screen or face-to-face talking online, will stay a huge part of how we share our lives.
Thanks you and see you next time.